Hello everyone, I'm just going to go through a brief rundown on some basic usage of ESword. ESword is an amazing Bible study tool. On our left pane here we have the books of the Bible and we have the chapters of the Bible. So to navigate, you guessed it, you would click on the book you want and you click on the chapter and it'll be displayed over here. Alright. If you have some Bibles that you don't use, like the IGNT for example, maybe you don't use that one. You can just click up here, go to options, go to resources, find the Bible you don't want. For example, I use the Vulgate. I don't have enabled. I'm going to enable that one. Click OK. And the Vulgate has now appeared up here, ready to be used. If the font size or the default font size is too big or too small, or you just want to change it, one way to make it larger is to just click on this magnifying glass. Or you can come in up here. Let's click on the King James. You can click on Options, go to Fonts. And we can change the font size right here. There we go. And you can still make it bigger if you want. If you're in a chapter and want to study above and below the chapter, you can do the split view here. So now you could read above and you can go all the way down the bottom of the chapter with the split view. The commentaries over here. We got Barnes, Adam Clark, John Gill, Darby. You can click on any one of these. If you want to find out more about anything, just select it, come over here to commentary and click on information. It'll give you a little information. Albert Barnes, notes on the Bible, and it'll tell you when Albert Barnes had lived or died or put the notes in the Bible, depending on who put this information in. The commentary, if there is commentary on a scripture, verse, or anything, you'll see this little exclamation come up. So like if I click on Acts 8:2, we can see Barnes has some commentary, Clark has some commentary, Darby has some commentary. All right. Now, these three things here, this means verse. So these are verses, verse commentary. If you want to see if anybody's had a comment about the whole chapter, just the chapter itself, you can push that. And we see Darby didn't have any commentary on the whole chapter, but he did have some commentary on the specific verses. However, Clark gave commentary on Acts chapter 8 itself. And if we just want commentary on just the book of the Bible itself, we can just click on this B button and we can see Darby has some commentary on it. John Gill has some commentary on Acts. And so that's what these are for. I don't use the commentary simply because they are very denominationally slanted, but it's there for your use if you want it. There's also the treasures scripture knowledge. And that's there if you want to like compare similar verses. I don't use that either. Well, but once again, it's there if you want it. If you want to look up a Greek and Hebrew word, we simply, let's say we want to look up kingdom. So what we got to do is find where kingdom's at. And so I guess we can go to Matthew. We go to chapter 7. Let me just scroll down a little bit here. Matthew 7:21, and not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom. And I want to know what that Greek word kingdom really is translated into. So if I just click on kingdom itself, the word kingdom, you'll notice that our dictionaries down here get enabled. We have something in the Easterns, all right, with some information there. Fawcett has some information there. The ISBE has some information on kingdom, meaning the origin of term. And once again, the dictionaries are not always 100% factual, so they're there if you want to use them. I never use them, all right? If we want to look up the Greek word itself for kingdom, what we'll do is, King James, where it says KJV, we'll click on this KJV plus right here. And this will bring up the King James Bible authorized version with the Strong's numbers by each of the words. So we have kingdom in G932. And if we mouse over that, we'll see the Strong's definition of kingdom. If we click on that number, Then we notice we have some other things here that come up with the exclamation marks, and we click on that. We'll click on the Strong Concordance, and that'll give us a strong definition. We also have a Thayer Greek over here. We can click on that. Not to be confused with an actual kingdom, but rather the right or authority to rule over a kingdom. We also know that the word kingdom, basileia, is a Greek female noun, so it's not like a place like God's kingdom or anything. It is a operation of a place. And so sometimes just knowing the actual Greek and Hebrew will help us understand the scriptures just a little bit better. Most of the time I go by context, but it's there if you need it, right? There if you need it. The Hebrew is just a little bit different. We'll just click up here. Hebrew chapter 1, in the beginning, God. We'll click on that, the Hebrew word there, and we can see Thayer doesn't have anything for the Hebrew because it's a Greek dictionary only. But Strong's will, Elohim. And then we find out that it's plural, can mean more than one. And the BDB tells us it's plural. It's a masculine noun, plural. So if you want to see what this word God was translated into, we have another great tool called the KJC. We can just click on that. And we can see that Elohim was translated as God 2,366 times. But also Elohim, God, was translated as gods 216 times. It's translated as God, apostrophe S, 7 times. Translated as judges, goddesses, great, angels, exceeding, Godward, godly, judge, and very. Why would they translate Elohim into very? Very interesting, but that's what they did. And you can find all that out using the KJC tool. All right. If you want to change, maybe you just want the scriptures only, you can come up here to this here where it says that B and just push that, and that's just your scriptures only. C for your commentaries only. D for your dictionaries only. And E for your topics, study notes, or journal notes. If you want to move a pane out of the way, there's these little pin icons here. I don't use the commentary, so oftentimes I'll click on this little pin, and that'll pin it over here to the side. And if I mouse over this, it'll pop up. I still have use of them here if I need to use them, and I can pin it back if I want to pin it back. Pretty awesome. So let's talk about scripture formatting. So I'm going to just get this out of the way. And I'm going to go into topic notes, and right now I have something called EStore study. I'm going to delete all this. So let's say I do use this. I have something for prayer on Facebook, and I have my notes here. Sometimes I'll read out of EStore, or I'll copy these onto a Word document. It really depends on what I'm doing or where I'm at. So judge not judging governments. Remember that video? Well, there's where my notes were for that video. Facebook healing. If you want to create a new topic note, because these are all the topics here as topic notes, just push this little paper icon and it'll bring up new. And we'll just type study EStore. There we go. That gives you a fresh, clean start. And you can type EStore study. And it's a full functional editor. It's you can make it bold, you can make it a lot larger, and we can center that EStore study. There we go. If we want to bring verses over from our Bible into our study, all we got to do is select one of these verses, and it'll turn red. We right-click, and we just paste that into our topic notes, just like that. Just that easy. If, for example, we want this formatting to be different, or maybe, let's say if I highlight a bunch of scriptures, I click here and I go paste in the topic notes. Well, so formatting. That's what I don't like about these editors. Sometimes the formatting gets a little wonky. But anyways, there we go. Got that fixed. You can just select a bunch of scriptures and you'll paste them all into the topic notes like that. So if we want a scripture format, you can select copy verses. And this will give us formats. Like I got format number 7. This gives you what it's going to look like. It's going to put all these verses together. There's different formatting options. Here's one that formats it, that puts the little verse number by each scripture. You can use that. There's different ones to choose from. I prefer number 7. That's the one I like. You can also choose to include the translation name in it if you want. And if you're putting these in a Word document, you might want to turn off include text formatting so you don't get the extra hidden characters that turn things colors and such for your Word document. Makes it easier to work with in your Word document. And we'll just paste those in our topic notes. There we go. Now, if I'm in, let's say Titus 3. So let's say I want to, like Genesis 1:5 here, and I click on that, nothing happens. But I want to quickly see, maybe I'm in the Amplified, and I want to see the Amplified version of this. And this is the King James that's posted in here. All we got to do is just highlight this here, come up here and click our scripture formatting tool. And that'll turn it green with the underline. And now I can highlight over that, and the Amplified version will pop up, or whatever basic Bible in Basic English, or whatever Bible I'm using will pop up. And I still have the King James here in my notes. So that's kind of handy too. Also, if I double click on that, it'll go right to that scripture in the Bible. So that is the scripture formatting tool, and it's pretty handy, and pretty handy tool. So that about covers everything. I think we covered that. Let's. You have a little graphic viewer here. It's got a bunch of maps and stuff in here. I never actually looked through there. We got something called the Step Viewer, sketches of Jewish social life. There's different topics in here, and there's a lot of free material you can download from EStore and other places that you can put into EStore. For example, somebody did the first book Enoch I grabbed, so I grabbed that, and I guess that's the book Enoch. I don't know, but I haven't read through it. But it's there if you want to use it. The search function, I don't think we covered that. There's this little gear icon. Clicking on this will bring advanced search. Right now it says I'm in the Bible Basic English. I want to search in the King James. And let's say I want to search kingdom. So I just type KINGDOM. And that'll search for every place there's kingdom. If I want to limit my search just to the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Acts, I can select that and search again. And there we go. And when I double click on one of these, it goes to that verse. Cool thing about this is I can get this out of the way down here and still work in EStore. I don't have to close that window. Other programs will make you close the pop-up window. EStore does not. That's really helpful. If, for example, I want to search for a partial search, once again, that's in the advanced options here. I'll just click partial. And if I type KING, that'll bring up King, and it will also find kingdom for me. So that is pretty handy. If I want to find how many times a certain phrase is mentioned, like later rain, I can go to here and go to exact phrase, hit search. I want to search all the Bible. And that'll bring up the exact phrase, later rain, and it was used it's found 7 times in 7 verses. So that's also pretty handy there. So that is the search function, and you can do more ranges here. Like if I wanted to only search the book of Deuteronomy, I could select from Deuteronomy to Deuteronomy and just search the book of Deuteronomy if I wanted to. And if I search later rain, it'd only bring it up 1 time. Just like that there. And so we can reset that, search the little Bible, and we're good to go. So that is your search function. If you want to search for a word in a chapter, just click on that little button there, and I want to search, my mouse is acting up. I want to search blessed, and every time you hit enter, it'll search for the word blessed in the chapter, just there if you need it. And so you know where it's at. So I have a zip file of all the books that I've collected over the years and Bibles. It'll be like this. I'll post that on our Bible Edge Facebook group. If you can't find it, go to Facebook, our Bible Alert Facebook group, and message me, and I'll get you the link again for it. But it's called ESword. And this is a collection of a bunch of Bibles and commentaries and a bunch of stuff. And to use it, you just go to your ESword directory, which is C drive, program files 86, ESword, and drag that zip folder inside of ESword, right click on it in Windows and go to extract all. I use 7-zip, you can go to extract here. When Windows asks you to replace a file, just say, nope, don't replace it, just keep the newer versions and you'll be fine, good to go. The other thing, ESword, all the Bibles were free in ESword at one time, but ESword decided that now we should look up the free, some of the Bibles online for free. I mean, they're all still for free. I don't know why ESword did that. It just slows things down. Wasn't a very good move. So if you have some Bibles like the NIV or the Amplified, ESword may block them if it calls home and says, hey, wait, you got to look that Bible up for free online. And so what you can do to prevent that is just block the ESword executable with Windows Firewall. And if you don't know how to do that, just Google it for your version of Windows on how to use the firewall. For example, in Windows 10, which I'm using, you can click on the Windows thing, you click on the secure icon, you can go to Update and Security, you can go to Windows Security, you can go to Firewall and Network Protection, then you can click on this Advanced Settings, and that'll give you the option to block the outbound. You want the outbound, not the inbound, but you want the outbound ESword executable. And that's all I have. This is Mike. I hope this has helped somebody, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe.